The reality around us is nothing more than a simulation, a projection of energy, frequency, and vibration. Today, we'll talk about 3 ways you can prove that this statement is true for yourself, and one of them you've already experienced. This video will present some foundational concepts for many techniques we'll bring to the channel in the future. If you enjoy spiritual content, please give us a like. It takes a second, and you'll help us continue producing serious spiritual content grounded in Spiritism and the Rosicrucian tradition. Assuming you've already given your like, let's get to the point. But before we discuss these 3 ways to break free from this simulation we call reality, we need to understand energy. Everything that exists, from the physical body to the situations we experience, is energy in different degrees of density. This means that what we perceive as matter is actually energy condensed into lower frequencies. According to Einstein, the mass of an object can be converted into energy, and energy can be converted into mass. In other words, matter, mass, and energy are, at their core, interchangeable and deeply connected. These studies and scientific phenomena demonstrate that, at a fundamental level, all matter in the universe is indeed a condensed form of energy, and this concept has been backed by decades of research in modern physics. In other words, everything you see is actually energy in different vibrational frequencies. If you look at a rock, it is the way it is because of its unique vibratory frequency that makes it what it is. The same applies to water, the earth, and the entire universe, and this closely resembles what? A simulation. Of course, if you're enjoying this content so far, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, as we will be sharing techniques grounded in this video in the future. Alright. Anyway, we're not just dealing with solid objects and immutable situations. We're interacting with a kind of simulation, where the material reality is a dense expression of a higher, eternal spiritual dimension. This is why our thoughts and emotions have real power. They adjust the vibrational level of what we attract and experience. Understanding life as an energetic simulation gives us new power to act and choose, not just based on what is visible, but also on what resonates on a deeper level. Now that you understand this, let's talk about the 3 ways you can prove to yourself that reality is a simulation. Some of these things everyone has done without realizing it. Don't believe me? Then stick around until the end. The first way to prove that reality is a simulation is through our perception of time and how our mind can bend time and space. If reality weren't a simulation and we were just our physical bodies, you wouldn't be able to feel what I'm about to share. For example, in childhood, time often doesn't seem to follow the same rules. Hours may drag on or, conversely, pass in the blink of an eye. Do you remember those long afternoons that never seemed to end? Or those moments when time seemed to stretch as you explored a new toy or got lost in an imaginary world? This happens because our perception of time and space is not yet rigidly conditioned by the rules of the physical world, and it also relates to our own consciousness. In fact, the same happens when we're sleeping or dreaming, where time behaves completely differently. It's not uncommon to wake up from a dream and feel like you've lived an entire lifetime in just a few minutes of sleep. If you've ever had a dream that felt like you lived a lot, share your experience in the comments and tell us why it felt so real to you. The truth is that your consciousness is not limited to just the time we know in the physical plane. When you sleep, your 5 senses are practically deactivated, and your mind can travel through space-time, because when you dream, especially a very real dream, you have the experience of literally being in that place. And that's a small sample showing that your mind transcends the space-time of this reality. This flexible perception of time and space is an important clue about the nature of our existence. When we are in states of greater freedom, like in childhood or while sleeping, our consciousness distorts from the rigid timeline, allowing us to access subtler and more spiritual realities. These states of expanded perception are reminders that time and space are not as fixed as we think, and you could actually be in another place entirely, outside of your physical body. Another way to prove that reality is a simulation is through creative visualization. Visualization is not just a mental exercise, but a powerful technique that allows you to transcend the limitations of time and space, giving you control over your reality. When we visualize clearly and with emotion, we access a subtle dimension where the limits of the physical world simply don't exist. Time stretches, space expands, and what once seemed impossible becomes a tangible reality. Through powerful techniques of creative visualization, it's possible to transport yourself to the place your mind imagines and feel as though you're actually there, like a lucid dream where you're transported to it without needing to fall asleep. Of course, this is a constant practice and not easy, but it's real, and it's the subject of study and practice by Rosicrucians. If you're interested in this kind of technique, comment below, and we'll bring it to the channel in the future so you can prove to yourself that reality is a simulation. An even clearer way to prove that your reality is a simulation is through astral projection. Lucid astral projection is seen as a tool that allows the spirit to temporarily leave the physical body and access other dimensions of reality. When this happens, time and space cease to be limiting, and the spirit can explore more subtle planes of existence, where the laws of physics don't apply in the same way we know here, which also proves that we live in a simulation. Through constant techniques and practices, it is indeed possible for someone to project themselves out of their body. By practicing these techniques, the individual proves that reality is a kind of simulation and that they are not their physical body. Also, share if you've ever felt like you were out of your body or if you've seen your physical body. This will help others awaken to this reality. In conclusion, astral projection is not just a mystical experience, but an opportunity to awaken to the truth that our consciousness goes beyond the physical body, transcending the limitations of the material world, and proving that reality is a simulation for our spiritual growth. If this content resonated with you, share this video with friends or in groups that seek spiritual evolution. Let's create a network of transformation together. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because we'll bring techniques you can learn to awaken to this reality for yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Peace profound.